This is a great little device you might want to take with you on your next international trip. What is it? Let's talk about it. Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. iFLYTEK reached out and asked if I would review their smart translator. And to be honest, I almost said no because I didn't think I had a good way to test a device like this out. But I gotta say, this thing is really cool. So thank you to iFLYTEK for providing me with this review unit. Okay, so what is it? This device will translate up to 60 different languages either through audio or through photo. I did an unboxing video and you can find that here. So let's jump right into this and let me show you how this works. All right, well, let's take a look at these devices. This is the Smart Translator. This is a smart recorder from iFLYTEK. I've done a review on this before and there's a link there if you want to check that out. And then my iPhone. So between the two iFLYTEK devices, you can kind of see the difference size-wise between these two. I'll take that out, and then just the iPhone itself, if you kind of compare having an iPhone and this device size-wise, how they compare. There's a camera on the back of the iFLYTEK. Let's move the iPhone out of the way. So camera on the back of the iFLYTEK. The device itself has the power button, the red button here. There's volume bar buttons. So the blue is up, the red is down, and then these buttons also act for translation. So those will come in handy when I start to show you how the device works. There is a SIM card slot here. Comes with the little pin, so you can push that out. And then there's a microphone here. There's a microphone here. There's two microphones up top, and then this is a loudspeaker. So let's power this, and then USB-C on the bottom. There's also a spot for a lanyard connection. So if you, I believe iFLYTEK does sell a lanyard, but you probably use anything there, and you can keep this with you. So there's a few different ways you can use this device. You can use it to take a photo of something in a foreign language and then have it translate. You can do just a regular translation where you say, maybe you say something and then it'll translate that whatever you said into another language. And then there's what's face-to-face translation, where you actually will speak into the microphone, and then when you flip the display over, it'll kind of reverse the display and it'll show that person what you're saying, and then they say something back, and when you flip it back over, it'll flip the display again and it'll show you what that says. But I'll show you how that works. So let's look at the device itself. I turn it on. It'll show you the date and time. Up at the top, there's my cellular connection. Battery is right there. If I swipe up to unlock, time is in military, and then the date format is kind of a standard. In the US, we do our date differently, and we generally don't do military time, but you can't change that. That's one thing I actually would like to see as an option to change. And then you also can't change the wallpaper that's here. That would be another thing that I think would be cool. So face-to-face translation, there's some tiles here, some operation assistance. If you go here, it'll show you different things you can do there. So go back out. You can export your records, so you can export the translations that you do. And on Windows, it's really easy because this is an Android device, so it'll recognize it as a Android device and Android drive, and you can just move your recordings. On Windows, or I'm sorry, on Mac, you'll need to download like an Android transfer software to get that. Global Internet is the free service that comes for 2 years. So this is actually really cool. This was activated on December 29th, 2024, and I've got 2 years of global internet. So I think that's actually really cool. You can put your own SIM card in there, but why not take advantage of the free internet that you've got? I was really surprised when I opened this up and the date and time came up, and it had the signal there, and I was kind of curious what was going on there, but that's what that is. If I go to settings, you've got network and connection settings, so you can connect to Wi-Fi. You can connect Bluetooth. Bluetooth would come in handy if you want to have like earbuds. You could wear earbuds and then do your translations, and they're speaking and you'd hear the translation in your earbud, so it's not as confusing as hearing it, as you'll see as we start going through a little demo of this. And then airplane mode that you can go into. So let's go back. You've got display settings that you have. You can do like a lift to wake, which is pretty cool. You can change the font size. Go back, system updates. So you have that available as well. If I go into date time, I thought I'd be able to change that format, but that's not in there. Let's see, what else? Did I miss something? Date and time, system language, storage. Look at the storage. So that's the storage available. And the storage will come into play. Let's go back out. Sound and vibration. So you've got some settings there that you can change as well. And privacy settings, let's go back out. So you can swipe left and right on this. If I swipe to the right, it's going to show me the last thing that I was doing. If I swipe again to the right, that's where the camera comes in. So if you swipe, and that applies to the buttons on the side. So you might be thinking like, or what I was thinking was, well, I'd have to switch the English and Spanish if I wanted to kind of go back and forth, but the buttons will do that for you. So if I said something like, I'm just going to press the red button here on the side. Where is the museum?
¿Dónde está el museo?
And then if I want to go the other way, I can press the blue button. My Spanish is horrible, so I will admit this first. We're going to do a Duolingo test here in a second. I'm going to say, ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Where is the library?
Okay, so that's really basic Spanish there, guys. But at the top left, I'm going to click the tiles. That takes me back to the beginning. If I was doing face-to-face translation, I'm going to try and show you how this works. So if I tap on this, you'll see the top and bottom both blue and red again. And the idea here is that you would just put this between the two parties, and you tap on the red microphone and say what you need to say, and then it'll translate, and then it works in reverse. So the other person would tap on the blue, say their response in Spanish in this case, and then you would see that translated on your side. Okay, so next let's try the photo. So I swiped from the main menu. I swiped right again, and I got here. I just picked this off the internet. This is a picture of a Spanish text. I'm gonna take a picture of that. And let's see what it does. And there's the translation for that. There's also a highlighting option that you have available. So I'll do it again, and you can see the full screen and swipe. And if I do swipe, maybe I just want a portion of this. So you can take a picture, and then you can highlight what you want to translate. So I'll highlight that area there and tap on translate. And it'll only get that part of what I swiped and highlighted. So that's actually a pretty cool little thing as well. Okay, so let's look at the different languages that are available. So if I swipe right, at the bottom, there's the English and Spanish. And you can see my red is English and blue is Spanish. If I swipe down, or if I swipe through these languages, all of these languages are available. And there's just a ton of languages. So if you're using face-to-face translation, it's 19 languages. If you're using voice translation, it's 60 languages. And then if you're doing photo translation, it's 50 languages. So there's a ton of languages here. If I tap on a language, I can switch over to that. If I go back to languages down here, and let's go back to, let's look at Dutch. You can change that. Let's see. How do I buy tickets for the train?
Hoe koop ik kaartjes voor de trein?
So this is really cool. It's really fast translations. I think it's a really cool thing that you could take with you on a trip. I was very impressed with it. Okay, let's see if I can show you a little bit of the face-to-face translation. So I'm going to tap on that, and let's see. Again, my Spanish is horrible, guys, so bear with me on that. ¿Dónde está el baño en la biblioteca?
is the bathroom in the library?
How do I buy tickets for the train?
¿Cómo compro los billetes para el tren?
And then if you
¿Cómo
hold it
compro
up this
los
way,
billetes para el tren?
and then if you go back that way, it'll go back and forth. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Where is the library?
So it kind of, that's where the lanyard's at the bottom, because you can kind of flip back and forth. And you can see if I'm not even hitting the buttons now, and it's just kind of going back and forth. So pretty cool if you're going back and forth with somebody, and you can kind of do this and hold this up to them, and it'll show you what you're saying and then what they're saying. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that's a neat little feature and ability within this with Android on the back end. Okay, so here's my final test here. This is my this is my Duolingo test. So hopefully I'm not going to get in trouble for showing Duolingo on here, but you'll see here I'm going to start a lesson, and I'll swipe to the right here. I'm in Spanish and English, so I'm going to continue.
¿Me ayudas a limpiar los cuartos? You help me clean the rooms.
And you can see the translation there to what Duolingo is saying. So it does a pretty good job of translation. Let me bring that a little bit closer. Does a pretty good job of translation. I would not recommend using this to do your Duolingo. It is very, very slow. I've done a few lessons and it was very accurate, but it takes a long time to press the button, wait for them to say translate. You should just learn the foreign language of whatever you're trying to learn and not use this for that. But this is a great tool if you are traveling, you're on the road, and you need translation. I think this is very handy to use. All right, so I hope you enjoyed learning about the iFLYTEK Smart Translator, and maybe it's something you might want to take with you on your next international trip. I know I certainly will be taking it with me. I'd love to hear your comments below. Let me know what you think. Is this something you might use on your international trip? Have you tried one of these devices out? Drop a comment below and let me know. Thanks everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.